Welcome to Dad Pod, a community for dads and men.
You gotta love them boys. I'm hanging with my boys. Just me and my boys.
All right, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Dad Pod. I'm excited to bring this one to you guys. This is going to be a lot more lighthearted and fun episode, as we're going to be talking about one of the best men's activity. Well, I mean, it's for everybody, but one that is very beloved by men, which is golf. And we're super excited. Golf has been in our family for a long time. My dad is going to talk about his experiences, and I want to welcome them. I'm going to welcome my dad, Troy, and my brother, Kyle. We have, over the course of our lives so far, we've racked up a ton of experiences, hilarious experiences with golf, and some really fun times. And so I'm excited to share some of those with you guys, and hopefully you'll laugh a little bit with us as we recount some of the ridiculous things that we've done, and also some really cool lessons, at least for me, some really good childhood lessons that I still carry to this day to manhood and fatherhood. So, I'll introduce. So Dad and Kyle, welcome. Excited to talk about this with you guys.
Thank you, Clay.
How you guys feeling tonight?
Feeling great.
Surviving,
Yeah.
as most
Speaking
dads
of,
would probably say.
yeah, well, you just got done golfing. You had your golf league just earlier today. So, and you shot pretty well from what I heard someone say.
Okay, pretty well for me. I mean, not pretty well for most, but for me, it was good.
Yeah, that's also all relative, right? So cool. Yeah. So Dad, we're gonna start with kind of our earliest experiences. Starting with my dad, since you're the oldest, you have the most courses played. You have the most experience, I think, of all of us when it comes to that, and you have some really good stories. One that I'm thinking of in particular. But tell us, Dad, how you got started with golf. I want to know how it kind of got involved in our family.
Yeah, my dad was a really good athlete, and I would saw golf clubs in the garage, and when we saw some on TV, we'd watch sports on TV, and he would watch golf, and I thought, how can that guy miss it? It's only this far away, it's no big deal. Well, how does he miss it? And why is he walking way around to get to his ball? And I remember my dad trying to explain the game to me, and it was years before I got to play, because he was just never around, and it was considered probably a rich man's game. So he played when he was single. And he didn't play much when we were around. But my friends invited me to play golf with them, and I'd never played. And so I was in high school, and so let's go play some golf. I'm like, I've never played. So I asked my dad if I could borrow his clubs. And so I went and played. I'm sure I was just horrid. But, you hit one good shot. It's like, that was so fun, because just hanging out with the guys and just, joking around and, hitting the ball and, losing a ton of them or whatever. We went
Nothing really changed there, huh?
Yeah. Nothing's changed much. Yeah. So I remember, fortunately, my dad let me borrow his clubs, which was a big deal. And then
I can't believe that.
yeah, no, that was,
yeah, knowing you.
So he took me out once to play, and we started talking golf, and I remember he took me a couple times to go with him, which was saying a big deal. I think about it now. It's like, oh wow, I can't believe he took us. He took me. Craig didn't. Craig and Eric played later on in life, and so he was pretty good. But anyway, my dad took me, and it was just such a good time, and to see my dad relax and play and laugh, because I never really saw him in those conditions much. And so it was fun to connect with him that way and have something to do with him. We didn't play very often, but I really can remember the few times I played with him, because he was different. He was more engaging. He just was enjoying his time, and he's a pretty good player. I mean, he's just a pretty good athlete. But
Which that surprises me because golf would seem like it would piss him off even more.
I was surprised he didn't get angry. My dad was what
I know.
that was crazy. He got angry at us at home, but he didn't get angry playing
That's what
sports.
I'm saying. That's why it surprises me because especially golf, how it can be just so infuriating. But
Yeah, but so many crazy things happen in golf, and I remember him telling me a story about, and you know how if you're a golfer, you know you get behind people and they're slow, and if you're waiting, the courteous golfer will let you play through if they're not keeping up with the group in front of them, of course. And so
Right.
my dad tells me about a time when he was pressing a group and the guys, waved him to come forward. And he's like, oh, good. And so he said this one guy was hiding behind a tree or, just looking behind a tree, waiting up the fairway. And he had a baseball cap on, like most golfers do. And he kept looking behind the tree, kept looking. And my dad was hitting, and so he just as he hit it, he said, "Oh no!" And he was hitting it right at the tree where the guy was standing. He says, "Please don't look! Please don't look! Please don't look!" And sure enough, just as the ball was hitting there, the guy pokes his head around, and the ball just takes his cap right off his head. And my dad thought I was going to kill him. And he said, "The guy got about this big." And he's like, and he's looking, and he's like, "What'd you do that for?" And my dad's like, "I'm not that good. I couldn't do that. I tried 100 times." But he
oh
said,
man,
"Yeah, just golf. If you've played the game, some crazy things happen. Just unbelievable bounces
oh,
or just things in golf. It's insane.
Well,
I mean, you could Google it now, and now you get them on pictures of crazy things that happen in golf, both good and bad. But that was one of the stories my dad told me that was just hilarious. And so golf for me was just fun. And I used to play for work, and I used to play with the good friends, and I used to take Clay with me. Of course, Clay knows now, but I remember I remember you guys know Ted Randall. And anyway, he's a good friend of mine, and we were playing golf, and he was standing on the opposite side of the green while I was hitting out of a bunker, and I didn't tell him he shouldn't stand there, but everybody that knows me, I have a good chance of sculling the ball. Anyway, I did just that, and the ball went straight at him. He tried to get out of the way, but it hit him square in the chest. And bounced on the green. And it's like, hey, he's like holding his chest like the wind got knocked out. He's like, oh, oh, oh. And the
call your
ball,
bank, dude. Call your bank.
and of course, I got to play it from where it lied, which was on the green.
backboard.
Great shot. Thanks, Ted.
Oh man, what a
Oh,
good
man.
golf partner. You need to take him every time.
Well,
Anyway,
it's funny that you say that, Dad, because I feel like golf especially has this like ability to, or at least the universe tends to manifest itself in the law of attraction, right? And if for those that are familiar with the law of attraction, your mind makes things happen according to
Oh,
what you're thinking, right?
yeah,
100%.
if you
And
picture
golf,
it in your mind, you do it. That's what they're
totally.
Oh,
And
sure.
I'll think of a specific example. When I was what 14 when we did that golf league in San Bernardino, uh, I could only picture the rake on the other side of the bunker, and I was like, I told you, Dad. I said, well, should I go move that? And you're like, nah, that's not even, don't even think about that. That's not even at all in the picture. And of course, I skull the ball, right? And I'm only probably 30 or 40 yards away, and I absolutely skull it, and it nails the rake and just goes right in the bunker. And I remember thinking, like, dang it, dude, I should have moved the rake. And it's, no, I shouldn't have just thought about the rake, right? Instead of just making a good shot.
it only works when you can't. If you think you're going to get a hole in one, it does never happens.
It never
But if you
happens.
think about the bad things, it happens
That's not
100%.
true. That's not true. I remember one time I was playing with Clay, and I said, Clay, in my mind, when I stood on the screen, it was a par three. I knew exactly how I was going to hit it. I don't know, just one of those rare occasions. And I said, Clay, I'm going to hit a little draw right towards the hole. And sure enough, I mean, I hit it, Clay. If you remember, turned around and told
Yeah.
him that, and it bounced like 5 feet from the cut. But of course, I missed my birdie putt. But
He could
it's
three putt from there.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
three
really
putt.
can, and I have many times. But it does happen occasionally. That's why you're supposed to picture your shot. But Anyway,
Never happened for
Yeah,
me
within
unless it's
that
bad.
lies another cool lesson, right? Like, of course, this is going to be a lighthearted, uh, episode, but within golf lies so many cool life lessons that I took as a kid, and so I'll talk about one of those, but just the law of attraction. If you can only imagine the obstacles or the bad things, you're going to be right, right? Whether
yes,
yes,
self-fulfilling
you're right.
prophecy.
You're going to hit a bad shot. You hit a bad shot. Okay, you were right, right? But yeah, there's another cool lesson I think that I learned about golf. Um, the other ones, you know, as you talk about, us going very early on in my life, right? You got me my first set of clubs when I was, I think, 8. I think that was the same year I got my telescope, which I couldn't believe how many things I'd gotten that year for Christmas because I'd asked for a telescope and I was so excited. But yeah, so we, yeah, growing up, we would go out at 4 in the morning or so, and because golf's a rich man's sport.
That was a Holmes tradition. If we're going golfing, we got to wake up at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
it's
like
either golfing or
3:45 or
fishing
something.
or camping. It doesn't matter. We're going to go early, right?
Yeah, we might as well not even go to bed.
Yeah, it was almost like that. And,
Well, it was
I
like
got
that.
up exactly, and I would get up and go have, just I didn't even have enough hunger to have a bowl of cereal, right? It was just like, okay,
You
let's have
just
some
have
orange juice.
dinner.
Let's have some orange juice. Yeah, last night's dinner is still warm.
Still sitting on the table, dude.
Still sitting on the table, and it was so dark. And we'd get there. We'd go to Crafton Hills. Do you remember playing Crafton Hills?
So we
But
got
it
a
was the
story for
perfect place to
Austin
play.
Hills too, though. Same Ted guy. We got another story. Anyway, finish.
Yeah, yeah. And so we go to Crafton Hills. It was what, $4 for
Yeah,
per person,
you could just play all day for the same
and you could
four.
play as much as you want. The
Yeah,
guy would come walking by and ask you for the payment. You pay $4, and it was a 6-hole course. So you'd have 6 holes right on this small community college course.
Oh man.
And the grass was always really, I mean, in the morning it's really wet. And so anyway, the story I want to tell, just about a cool life lesson I learned that I used in my college application, actually, is that I learned from golf, is that, was that hole that it was a par 3 that goes over the road right there, Kyle. I think it was one hole. I think it was hole 5. The par 3 before the long par 4
yeah,
that sits up really high,
yeah. It is. It is number 5.
and it's on top of the green is, right in front of the road, or sorry, behind the road, and so, and it sits on top of this like hill almost, and it's a really steep hill down into the left, and so I shanked it down into the left, and I was getting frustrated, and my dad, yeah, Dad, you said, well, just take it one shot at a time, right? Keep your head in it, right? You can only, you can't change the shot now, but you can, change the shot that's ahead. And so I still remember that to this day, is, just change your attitude and make it happen. And so I didn't think about it much. I let go of the frustration and I said, yeah, you're right. And so I'm going to be playing this hole another 3 times anyway.
We
so,
lost 100 golf
so,
balls that day anyway, I'm sure. But
oh yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, I went down, hit that next shot, and it was like 30 yards up by itself, right? And I landed it
yeah,
and about 5 feet from the hole, and made the putt for par when I completely shanked it. And so that has still stuck with me to this day. That life lesson of, you can change your attitude and look to what's ahead. Look what's ahead, and obviously learn from the mistakes you made, but in terms of changing and making a positive mindset, right? Instead of being aggressive and being angry like you would in other sports, right? And go get the ball right, go be aggressive, right? With golf, it's never been that way for me. You have to have a more smooth and calm mindset, and more control over your emotions to play better. And so, yeah, it manifested itself. And so, yeah, another cool part of that, experience for me.
yeah. On that same
But
course, Ted, that same Ted friend of mine, we used to go and play there all the time too because we could, and we went there early because we didn't golf. If you play golf, it takes a long time, and if there's a lot of people there, it takes even longer. So you could go to this Crafton Hills place and play, as many as you could in a couple hours. You'd probably get in 27 holes. It's the same 6 holes, but you could play it really quick and then be home before all the kids were up for breakfast, right? So we would do that. But I think Kyle, you were with me when Ted
Yeah, I was
was.
there.
So
I
maybe
still I can
tell the
see it in
story.
my mind's eye. I see it in my mind's eye.
You tell the story.
So I think it was the second hole on that course,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and we're
Forest on the right.
all the yeah,
All the
uh-huh.
trees are along the right hand
And,
side.
Yeah.
and this guy was with his son golfing, and he sees the three of us, assuming that we're decent golfers. I don't know. And he's like, "Hey, why don't you guys just go and play ahead?" Oh, cool, thanks, man. Yeah. So we let Ted go first. You go first, Ted. You can hit first. And Ted hits this drive. It's going about 200 miles an hour, a foot above the ground. And I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's like a heat seeker. And the guy's kind of bending down behind his golf bag, and his son's like exactly behind his golf bag, and his arse is sticking out behind the golf bag, and that ball tattoos his left butt cheek. Titleist 4 right there on the butt cheek, and he gets up. Oh, that hurt! His eyes, his eyes got really big. The
He
ball
started.
bounced. I mean, you could hear the smack, and the ball sailed into the forest, and I kid you not, he immediately pulls his pants down to look at whatever damage. Yeah,
I got
to
a Bruce.
yeah, no, yeah. He's like to look at the new tattoo that Ted gave him.
It says Titleist on it.
And Ted was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry." It
And I
was so
promise
funny. I was dying. I
I
couldn't help it.
promise.
There's like no way I could hold it in. I was laughing so hard. And the
Well,
guy
and I
just got
promise
pegged.
it didn't say Titleist. They probably said Pro Staff or something stupid.
Wilson.
We didn't hit our good golf balls there. I promise.
He's got a Wilson tattoo on his left cheek to this day, and that was like 25 years ago, or probably more than that. Yeah, I mean, just nailed him, perfect. I mean, that thing. I mean, you can hear it screaming.
Oh
Bam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Especially it gets really quiet there, right? Because I mean, it's because it's so early in the morning. I mean,
Oh
it'd
yeah,
be so
that
easy
sun
to
was
hear it
barely
hit.
up.
It'd be
Yeah.
so easy to hear just the smack, dude. Oh, it would be so
Oh,
funny.
Well, there's
Wish I could
always,
so
have been
funny.
there.
like you said, the grass was always wet because the morning dew was
Yeah.
out.
I mean,
But
it was like watching a jet fighter fly over the ocean, and the water's like
The
shooting
water's
up,
kicking up.
Yeah, the dew of the grass was kicking up behind that ball as it's whizzing toward that guy. Oh man, that was so funny.
oh yeah, I was
Incoming missile,
I
sir.
was hoping it wasn't gonna kill him. I was like,
I think actually we didn't even hit for that. We just
no,
put our balls up ahead of those guys, and we ended up hitting in front of them.
Oh man,
there's
that
no
could have
way
been
I
a
could clean the club after that.
Uh,
I was dying.
a Marv moment where you're like,
oh
how many
man,
bricks do you got up
yeah,
there, Marv? You
yeah.
hit him again and again.
No one throws bricks at me and gets away with it.
Oh
I
man.
remember another time. I haven't been out golfing too many times with mom. Maybe it's probably half a dozen, maybe a little bit more. But there was this one time I went out and we were going out with a couple other friends, and this guy, there was a tee box that was in front. You know how the tee boxes are lined up. There's black and blue, and then white and red or whatever. And so in front of us was the next tee box, but the tee box were tiny. They had tiny little square, or actually they were triangle, but they were made out of metal, and it was maybe 3 inches off the ground. I mean, it wasn't very high. And so we're standing behind this guy while he's teeing off, okay? And he hits this thing this far off the ground. it hits one of those tee box markers, and it comes shooting back and hits mom in the hip. I mean, it was oh,
Oh,
if that guy tried 1,000 more times, he wouldn't even hit the tee box. But the one time he hits that, and it comes racing back, shoots by me and hits her, blam! Oh man, craziest things. I'm glad it didn't kill her, but the craziest
Mom's a
thing
ball magnet, dude.
she is
wasn't
softball.
it Ted again? I'm pretty sure you were with Ted again. I remember
No,
hearing that
no, it
story and
wasn't.
you were with
Ted's
Ted
ball,
again, you
dude.
know?
No,
That
I was
I
guy.
like,
remember.
I was about to say the moral of the stories don't go with, or do go with Ted if you want to like
Yeah,
protect
a good
yourself and
time.
laugh at
Or
other
me.
people. Yeah.
I'm perfect for
Well,
that
one
too.
of the best. I'll say one of the best times I ever had too was with Ted. We used to golf our guts out, and we did just last year too. And I'm pretty sure that's why I have a rotator cuff problem. It's because we played 36 holes of golf for 4 days in a row, and so I'm sure my shoulders wrecked because of that. But I met him in Florida, and he was like the best. Now he's a travel agent, right? He just for fun, because he and his wife like to travel the world, and they have done so and gone to many places. But they are just the greatest people. But he invited me to go to meet him in Florida, and so I mean I got off the plane, and it was in the afternoon, and we raced to the course and we played 18 holes. We stayed up. We went to dinner after that. Stayed
Just
up.
drifting into the parking lot.
So, well, he had scheduled us to see a space shuttle launch, so we had to be on the tarmac at 2:30 in the morning. So for a 5:30 a.m. launch, and
So
so
it's a regular Holmes golf day. You don't go to
yeah,
bed.
so we
You
didn't go to
didn't
bed.
go to bed.
It was regular, so because right after the space shuttle launch, we had one. We had one for 7 in the morning. We just went to the course,
Exactly.
played 18, and then had lunch and played another 18. So for the next 4 days, we played 7 rounds of golf. But he's one of those guys that, I mean, he's one of my best friends, if not my best friend. But so I wanted to say something good about him, not something that he's always saying. I have a lot of memories of
He's a
him on
good
the golf
backstop and
course.
he's a good time.
Yeah, you can always count on him.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's well. He would tell some
Uh,
stories too that I'm not remembering, but we played a lot of golf and a lot of nice golf courses too. So anyway, so that's
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 hilarious.
me. What about you guys? Kyle. You're just now getting into golf, really.
yeah, yeah. God rest my soul.
You could have lived without it.
Uh,
Yeah,
You'd have a lot
probably
more money
should
in your
have.
pocket, that's for sure.
I still won a lot of money last year in my league. Was taking all these old people's money. That was fun. They just kept donating. I'm like, just give me it now. You don't even have to put it in the
They just
box.
felt
I'm gonna
sorry
win it
for you,
anyway.
bro.
Yeah, probably.
What we started though recently is to
Uh,
plan, some golf trips. I want to do that annually if we can, but I'm going to sneeze here, I think.
Yeah.
Excuse
I
me.
mean, we went just this last time, and that was so much fun. We went with your friend Dan, Kyle, and then us three,
yeah.
and that was a blast, right? We went for what was it, the long
Coyote
weekend? Was that what
Springs.
that
Yeah,
was?
it was Coyote
Yeah,
Springs.
we
It
did.
was
We went to Mesquite,
Falcon Ridge, Wolf
Wolf
Creek,
Creek.
Coyote
Yeah,
Springs,
Down.
and that Oasis Palmer course or something.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. The
good
one that was
place.
designed by Jack
Yeah,
Jack
we
Nick
couldn't. Clay and
Jack
I
Nicholas
couldn't wait when you
himself.
guys was lining up every putt. It's like, Clay, let's run. We'll get in some extra holes
Yeah,
here.
you got to understand, golfing with my dad and my brother is more of a marathon or a sprint than it is golfing. You're literally running between holes, so you're not really golfing. It's like this hybrid sport that they created. And so Dan and I are just like, well, we're gonna actually just play regular golf and not try to burn 300 calories between each hole. I don't know.
Well,
I had
I don't like to
I
play
was fun. It was
slow.
almost.
I don't
I
think
will say it
playing.
was fast. It was almost.
We're
It was
not we're
almost
not
like
trying to play
polo.
slow. It's about just playing regular golf. I mean, you guys are literally sprinting like, it's like playing polo. You're just
Yeah, I was
driving
gonna say
by
it's
the
like
golf in the golf
polo.
cart. You got your club out and you're hitting the golf ball like polo style. It's like, oh, cool.
Yeah, but I actually think I played better when I was playing faster. Don't know, not enough time to think between shots. Just get up and hit it.
Oh yeah, that's how I play. I mean, I have no backs. Like, I don't take a practice swing. It's probably why I shoot so poorly. I should probably slow down, but I just
Yeah, yeah, we've told you that many times.
There's club head
but
screws about you.
the best part for me about golfing is just the ability to smash the ball. Try to hit it 500 yards. Even though even though 1% of the time, it goes perfectly.
That's because 1% of the time the club head is actually hitting the ball in the right place.
Exactly. It's making the right contact, but man, when it does, oh man, it is some satisfaction right there. But
Yes.
the other funny thing I wanted to mention too. I know we have a couple funny golf cart stories. The other legendary thing about golf is the funny golf cart moments, and I know we have a few here as we're kind of winding down in the last few minutes and the last few stories about getting together with the boys. And I'll ask Kyle about this one because this one I know is told on the my mom's side of the family since we did this in San Diego. I think we did, right? We went with like a party of what, 8 golfers that day.
All family
We went
members.
with Chris and Aaron and Chad and everybody and
It's fun.
Kyle. This
Yeah.
is what I'm referring to with you. This was a really fun guys thing to do. I can't remember what the girls did that day. Um, but yeah, we were with family and I think it was San Diego, if
No,
I'm
it's
not
down to
mistaken,
San
right?
Clemente. We had,
San Clemente, I think, is what you're talking about.
we went
Oh
there,
yeah, yeah,
we went to
yeah.
a course just up the road from San Clemente. We were
It's just
camping
That's
there.
right.
across the road from the state beach.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Because we all decided to go golfing, and
No, I didn't decide. I
yeah,
just rode the golf cart.
you didn't just ride the golf cart. Tell that story about what you guys did, you and Chad.
So, so my cousin and I, my dad and Sam wanted to go golfing. I don't remember Aaron being there. I think it was when we were younger, before Aaron
Well,
was in the
Chris was
picture.
there.
Yeah, you were younger,
I
actually.
know for a fact Chris was there. Sam was there. Chad.
Who was
We had a
younger?
full.
We were younger.
I
My,
I don't
was
know.
there.
Oh, I'm not saying you weren't there, but I
Oh
don't
yeah.
remember them being there. You could be right. My memory's shot anyway, so it doesn't matter. But so Chad, Sam and Dad paid for us to just be ride-alongs. We weren't playing. We were just driving the golf.
and I was nervous that
Some golf.
I was going to have to pay for it.
Well, so some golf courses you have to, go on these weird things to get to the next hole. It's like, and some of them don't have signs. Well, when you're young and not familiar with golf courses, I didn't know where I was
Well,
going.
I did.
So I saw a little path. It was like a little road. It looked like designated for golf carts, but there was these, those cement poles that stop cars from going through.
A little yellow pole, right? Those
Yeah,
little yellow metal poles.
cement poles. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, they've made it so where the golf cart can go through there and only golf carts. And so I went perfectly straight in between those poles, and the golf cart got stuck. It got wedged between those things, and the golf cart screeched. It's like just stuck right in between. And Chad and I are just busting up laughing, and so I have to get out. And Chad gets back in the driver's seat. We're trying to shimmy this thing through those poles because it was wedged in there. So finally, Chad's pressing the pedal to go, and I'm lifting it up, and it's just making all sorts of loud noises. And Dad and Sam are sitting over there, just so you can see the steam coming out of their ears. Because they knew they were gonna have to
Dollars out of
pay,
my
yeah. And Chad and I are holding ourselves because we're gonna pee our pants because we were laughing so hard. And finally, we're able to get it unwedged through there. Oh man, that
So,
was funny.
is it your story, Kyle, the one about the guy who kind of lost it there, got away from me there?
Yeah.
Because I
So
have one like that too, and I'm going to tell that one after this.
we were it was for a work thing. We went to a golf tournament that somebody was holding, and we were invited to go play. And so I was with a coworker, and he was driving the golf cart, and we hadn't even started. We were just getting in the cart, and they were telling us, "Okay, you guys are, follow us. We're gonna go take you out to the holes you're gonna start on." Well, he gets in, and I don't know if his foot slipped. I don't know what happened, but he hit the pedal to go. And I mean, he just, freaking Dukes of Hazard it right over the curb, clubs flying everywhere, balls going out of the bags, the whole 9 yards, bumping our heads on the top of the thing. And he kind of giggles and he says, "Oh, sorry, you got away from me there." I'm like, "Yeah, you think so?"
Just keep driving. Nobody notices.
People are looking at us like, "What are these jackwagons doing? They don't even belong here." I mean, we just scattered like balls scattered like cockroaches. We were trying to run and get all the balls that had fallen out of the cart. Like,
You said the beer cart girl hasn't even been around yet.
I
What's wrong?
know. Like, dude, you got the Jello shots a little early, bud.
Oh man, now that's become like a quote that we say whenever we get on the golf course now, man. It's like something we say now.
I'm
What a
just glad
great
it wasn't
time.
me driving.
Well, I have one of the ones where you were in the passenger seat again, and I
Same
was driving
course,
this time.
Thanksgiving Point.
It was the
That happened to
Thanksgiving
me.
point again?
It
That's
was me at
hilarious.
Thanksgiving Point with him, and then it was with you at Thanksgiving Point. It was on hole 9.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the story that I have, I think it was that I can't remember what hole it was. Oh, yeah. Was it hole 9? Was it?
It
was whole
was. It
night.
was hole
It
9.
was hole 9.
Going
Clubhouse.
back to the
That's right.
clubhouse. Yeah.
That's right. It was coming back to the clubhouse, and I wasn't looking ahead. That's the dumbest thing, right?
Well, you
It's
were
like
looking. Typical
I was looking
Clay.
for my ball.
He's got 0.2 balls in his bag every time he goes golfing. And so he's always on the lookout. Oh yeah, okay. There's some ball. Oh, yeah, every time.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be driving because that is true. I was looking for either my ball or a ball, and I was driving and I was looking this way, and I didn't realize that Richard had stopped because so my dad and Richard were in front, and I didn't realize that they'd stopped, and so I didn't look fast enough. I was looking, and Kyle goes, "Watch out" or something.
So, dude, you gotta stop.
And then Kyle jumped out of the thing.
I bailed, dude.
He jumped
I
out,
bailed.
and I looked forward. We
Oh, you gave him whiplash, dude.
I did.
Both of them.
I should have told that story when you I forgot about that one.
I straight bailed, dude.
He
I
jumped
bailed
out.
and jogged
And I'm like, why did he
alongside
jump?
someone.
I'm like, why did he jump out?
I will
And I
have no
look back.
part of
I look
this.
back in front, and it's too late to hit the brakes. That thing is not going to stop.
Yeah,
Especially when it was. Yeah, just
The crushing of
I mean-
clubs and necks, dude, is what it sounded like.
What's so funny?
I was going,
Richard
clubs
and
are
I
like-
are pretty small guys. We're pretty big guys, and it launched our golf cart.
And Richard goes, "What the hell?" I was rolling around on the grass laughing because I was like, "Hey, I wasn't even in there, dude. I'm not even part of this, man. I'm
oh,
over here lining up my shot. I don't even know what you guys are doing."
I felt so stupid because I had no explanation other than to just be like, look, I wasn't looking on the road. It was like a Dumb and Dumber moment where you're like, you should keep your eyes on the road. Like, yeah, you're right.
All 14.3 miles an hour of that go-kart or golf cart just straight into the rear end of those guys.
We're standing behind our cart because we would have had our legs cut off. We hit so hard.
Oh, man.
That might have done you a favor though, Dad.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah.
was a good one.
We're just the amount of times that we've drifted on the course too in the morning when it's wet.
Yeah, but you know what? We haven't done anything worthy enough to be on like the really terrible YouTube videos. We haven't rolled one, we haven't tipped one, we haven't done anything like that. But oh
Yeah,
man,
I have enough shots to be on fail videos though.
yeah,
that's true.
But then we've also done some really cool ones too. I want to go play Coeur d'Alene, but we've also done, as we kind of wind up here, we've also played some really cool courses, right? So, kind of continuing along that path of growing up and even kind of being more serious, right? Some of the, some of the coolest experiences, at least from, with you, Dad, or with you guys, as we went last year, right, or a couple years ago, I guess now, to Wolf Creek, right? Or those fun times, when
No,
we went
that's a
on our golf trip, we got to go play, that course underneath the Tetons. We got to go play that and go see a moose. You remember that moose that we saw in
yeah. I
Montana
was
when we
glad he
played that
didn't
course
get
by
angry with us.
Glacier National Park?
Yeah,
Um, yeah, just some cool
yeah, he had
memories.
horns. Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. Because it was a buck, I think. Yeah, he was a buck. So, I mean, some really cool experiences from, and life lessons from golf, and obviously from all the funny things, but just the bonding, the bonding experiences alone. And so,
and more to
it's
come.
yeah, it's
And more
been
to
quite a
come too, because
blast.
now the grandkids are getting older. It'd be
But yeah,
fun
did
to
you guys
take
have any
them out.
other last?
That'll be fun.
On what?
Sorry, Clay.
Yeah, it's just a cool. I mean, no, no, it's fine because golf, is just unique that way in that, I mentioned it earlier, but just the more aggressive you play and the more angry you play with other sports, right? It tends to work in your favor, especially, sports like football or, basketball, baseball, volleyball, right? Soccer. The more aggressive you want to play, it tends to be a little bit better versus golf is, it tends to teach you something different, and consistency and practice, and, fine tuning the minor parts of your game and the pursuit of perfection, I think is what's so cool about golf and what keeps people coming back, right? There's always that joke like,
Perfect.
okay, I shank every single shot, I shoot nines on every single hole, but then I get one shot that's the one
I'm
that
gonna
keeps you
play this
coming
game
back.
the rest of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. uh yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, what has golf like? Yeah, so kind of sum up then, just as we kind of end up here. Yeah, what has golf done for you guys, and what's kind of been the
You want to
significant
go?
factor for you guys that keeps you guys coming back? And
I've
any final
enjoyed playing
stories you
golf
want to kind of tell too, if
for
there's something that
me.
rings a bell.
It's been fun just for the camaraderie. I've never played by myself. I won't go golfing, just to go play by myself. I just won't do that. It's just like, I'd rather go with someone. You're sharing time, you have experiences, you do some laughing, you do some not so laughing, depending on how you're playing. But to me, it's outside, which I really like being outside. It's typically on nicely manicured grass and landscaping, so it's beautiful that way. And then you have some friends, and then you're playing something that you think, I think is fun. So I've really enjoyed it from that aspect, and we've created a lot of good memories. Are tied to golf for me, for both friends and my family and other things. It's definitely a different sport than the ones you were just stating, Clay. You have to change your mindset, and so that's been a teaching moment for me about, because I played all the aggressive sports. It's reactionary. You don't have to think. And this one's a thinking game, so maybe I'm not cut out for thinking games or whatever. But but I've enjoyed it and have some great moments on great courses too, and more to come. So that's been it for me, Kyle. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I'm the same way. I actually, um, and Clay, I don't know if you know this, but I guess I'll say something, or one of the reasons why I didn't really play when I was younger. One, because it was frustrating. It wasn't something, a natural athlete can just pick up and be decent at, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to say I'm a great athlete, but I just felt like I was used to, like, oh, let's try this one. Okay, yeah, I could be okay at it. Well, golf wasn't that way. So that was one reason why I didn't play it. But another reason was because I actually saw that you and Dad enjoyed that together, and Dad and I did a lot of things together. And so I thought, you know what? Okay, yeah, it's cool. Clay can play that with my dad, and that's something they can do together. So, and again, and part of that too was just I got frustrated by it, so it was like a win-win for me. Um, but I started playing because my buddies kind of peer pressured me into it. Hey, just come play. It's not a serious league. Just come out and play with us. It's fun. We just hang out, do whatever. And so same as that. It was just a way to hang out with the guys, kind of let loose, forget about the stuff going on in life for a little bit, and just be there with whoever you're golfing with and enjoy the time. So that's I've enjoyed it since. I mean, I've only been playing now consistently probably for 3 years. So it's been it's been fun.
Yeah, I love that. And I've already kind of hinted at it. Sorry about the visual and that it's cut out. I still have to figure out the camera issue with it overheating, it says, and so working on a fix for that. Thanks for your guys' patience. But yeah, so the for me, golf has been, since I played it from fairly young, and I'm still about as good as I was then. I talk about this pursuit of perfection and getting better, but you have to be consistent enough to play it. And once I got into my college years and I had to pay for, stuff myself, it was like, well, I'm paying $30 to go play, or 40 or $50 to go play every single time is not something I can really fork out. But it's really been a great way to bond with you, Dad, is really my biggest golfing partner, my pretty much my whole life, right? And so we've done a lot of great things, and it's something that I'm going to take up with Simon, and I hope that he enjoys it, or at least wants to go with me. He doesn't necessarily have to be amazing at it, but I've learned a lot of great life lessons, some that I've already shared, and more that lie in with me still. But it's been something that's been a huge part of just learning how to manage your emotions and look past that, as well as compete and do something that's golf is competing against yourself. So learned a lot of great life lessons and have had a ton of fun doing things with the other, with my friends and with the boys, right? Is just that camaraderie and that the masculine outlet that we really need, in the different ways that we can seek it. And it's a healthy way, maybe not necessarily financially, a great thing to do is you got to do buy all the little things to make it happen, but definitely a great way to bond. And so, yeah, it's quite an amazing thing. And so for anyone that hasn't tried it, at least try it once with your coworkers. It's such a blast, especially when you all are not great and you're all having a fun time, just, not taking it too seriously. Then it can be really fun. But and my advice would be to play with people who aren't necessarily so uptight about it, as we try to not be so uptight. And be forgiving of yourself as you try to do those things. Don't take it too serious, and you'll get better. But yeah, it's a blast. Any last things you guys want to say, is by way of advice or anything else before we send us off?
Or don't, or just don't play. That's
That's other good advice too, if you want to keep your soul. Well, awesome. It's been great talking about our golfing experiences, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we did. It's fun to talk about those. And tune in next time, guys. And as we always say, right, live your legacy. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.
See you guys.
Oh.